Just when you thought Nikola Jokic couldn't get any more ridiculous, he just does. We're talking about a guy that's already been a 3-time MVP, an NBA champion, a finals MVP, and an all-around horse enthusiast.
I need to go home.
He's coming off one of the greatest statistical MVP seasons of all time, and he continues to do things that just make us think, how can this even be real?
Gonna heave, and count if it goes. Yes! Nikola Jokic! What can't this man do?
But being the best player in basketball has its perks, and it can also have its drawbacks. Stephen Curry had one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time in 2016 and was accompanied by a winning team, the winningest team in history to be specific. And on the other hand, there can also be MVP seasons like Russell Westbrook's, where the best player is putting up insane numbers, but the team behind him is just average. But why exactly am I telling you this? Well, it's because Nikola Jokic is stuck in the latter situation. But before we get into any of that, we need to talk about just how insane Jokic has been so far. He's currently averaging 31.5 points a game, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. Obviously, off first glance, it's a triple-double average, which by itself is already an incredible feat. Then throw in the fact that it's a 30-point triple-double average, something that's only been achieved twice in NBA history. And if you think it stops there, it doesn't, because each of those averages are higher than his last MVP season, and that includes three-point percentage.
And Jokic with a three, bullseye!
But the beauty of Nikola Jokic's game is that the numbers don't quite speak on just how great of a player he is, so I'm gonna show you instead. Obviously, a big part of what separates Jokic from tons of other big men is the fact that his passing is second to none, and throw in impeccable decision making, he reaches a level of playmaking that not many ever reach. Here he is in the post against Chet Holmgren. He takes one dribble and Caruso already comes to double. As soon as Alex makes a move, Jokic kicks it out to MPJ for a wide open three. Again, Jokic in the post, this time against Kevon Looney. As Aaron Gordon begins his cut, Buddy Hield leaves to double. Immediately, Jokic gets rid of it and feeds Aaron Gordon for an easy dunk.
Passing strike, Gordon for two. Jokic with the assist.
But there's more than just capitalizing off double teams, because Nikola Jokic can play make from just about anywhere. Jokic has the ball in transition here. He dribbles down the court into a Peyton Watson slip before the moment of decision. Right now, you may think Jokic is concerned about the two defenders nearest him, but really, the only defender he's reading is Klay Thompson, because he's the one stuck in the 2v1. Jokic freezes Klay by looking at Brown in the corner before giving the opening to Watson in the paint. Here it is again. Jokic is backing down in the post. Cam Johnson eventually comes to double, and this is the moment of decision. Once again, Jokic isn't concerned with the two defenders on him. The only person he cares about is Cam Thomas, because he's stuck in the 2v1. He makes it look like the pass is going to Brown in the corner, freezing Cam Thomas long enough for Aaron Gordon to get an easy dunk. It's pretty clear that drawing in double teams is a big part of Jokic's ability to play make, because that's when he's able to take advantage of the defense. And most of the time, teams would choose to make the star player pass the ball, unless it's Nikola Jokic, or Ime Udoka is coaching against Steph Curry in the finals.
Some second shots. Curry again. Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown.
But anyways, when the Nuggets were in the finals a couple seasons ago, the Miami Heat highlighted their strategy in Game 2 of forcing Jokic to score the ball, and only score the ball.
I do think what Miami did tonight, they said, all right, we're going to make Jokic a scorer. Let's take away other people.
He had 41 points, but only 4 assists, and as a result, the Heat came out with a win. It's almost a mind-blowing thing to say that you would rather have a guy drop a 40 or even 50 bomb on you than give him double-digit assists. But that's what makes Jokic that big of a problem for every single team. And we're honestly seeing a combination of both worlds right now in the regular season.
On top. The fake by Jackson Davis, and he'll go driving down that lane.
In on Zubac. Turn, pivot, around him he goes, and hooks it up and in. Getting bumped, coming in, turn, slow roll it. Yes, and a foul.
He's dropping those 30, 40, 50 bombs while also recording double-digit assists in a good amount of games. So in theory, the Nuggets should be unstoppable, right? Well, no. With just over a quarter of the season already through, the Nuggets currently stand at just 3 games above 500, which doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world considering they are still the 6th seed in the tough Western Conference, but no other team has a player that's putting up numbers like Nikola Jokic. I mean, this guy put up 56, 16, and 8 against the worst team in the league and lost. That's just something that shouldn't ever happen. And although that was just one game, it should still raise a cause for concern because if Denver can't beat the Wizards when Jokic has a generational performance, what can they expect once they meet the likes of title contenders? And it brings me back to my original point of there are perks and drawbacks of being the best player in basketball. Right now, Jokic is experiencing some drawbacks. He's playing at the top of his game and his team just can't keep up. And I can only imagine that putting up ridiculous numbers and still losing nearly as many games as you win has to be frustrating. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon need to become more consistent scorers in order to help aid Jokic in every game, more so than the previous seasons, because the Nuggets' depth isn't as great as it was before. Granted, the Nuggets aren't known to play a whole bunch of guys anyways, but the guys that they did play were fairly reliable. Guys like KCP and Bruce Brown were reliable role players that were able to thrive around Jokic. And I think the Nuggets just need to find players that can fill those voids. Christian Brown and Westbrook are a great start to addressing this issue, however. Obviously, it's still early on in the season, and I'm not saying that the Nuggets can't just figure this all out, but if they continue to keep up this same pace, then I think it's safe to say that the Denver Nuggets are failing Nikola Jokic. But what do you guys think? Is Nikola Jokic going to have an even better season than his already impressive previous MVP seasons? And do you think that the Nuggets are going to eventually get back to their championship form? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.